Alright, friends, Sunday night. I hope you're thinking about the rest of the week and how it's going to go and kind of getting yourself pumped to get some stuff done and sort of focus and all those good things. I'm trying to because I need to focus. I've been a little unfocused in the past week or so due to kind of just being, busy and living life and talking and just sort of, working through a lot of personal things. So, I feel like I'm in a place to I feel physically like 85 to 90% there, so I want to get back into getting back to the gym, and I'm in that typical, the night before, I'm going to do all these things, then the next morning I'm going to be like, I don't want to do anything. But I'm doing my best to, prep and plan and put myself in a good spot so that the week will go smoothly. And for that, I want to kind of get you guys pumped up, so I'm going to play a couple songs that are kind of personally very motivating. I think they also deal with motivating topics, so let's do that. Hello, friends! Happy Monday, August 21st. You are listening to the CNOTE audio extravaganza. That was not Spanish at all. I don't know what that was. That was old man. Extravaganza! They're gonna have a really good time! Enjoy it with us! Will ya? Hi, Christopher Rivera here. Welcome to the CNOTE Audio Extravaganza. Happy Eclipse Day! I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it. Hopefully no one will burn their retinas. That will be bad. Nobody wants that. And, I don't want anyone exploding, either. I want to make sure... Actually, before I put anything else out there, I understand that today will be a day that a lot of people will be playing Total Eclipse of the Heart. Just throwing that out there because I know it's coming, and I want to make sure that we take stock of this. I want everyone who hears the song on someone's station to call in to me with their rendition of it. I want to make sure that they understand what they're doing. And, I'm waving at my mother-in-law as she passes by, because she just dropped off the niece and nephew at school. I always gotta wave, so you gotta do your due diligence. Make sure that you're keeping the peace in life. Anyway, everyone is gonna play Total Eclipse of the Heart. Every now and then I'll get a little bit older. I want to hear your rendition at some point today. You can do it in the car, you can do it in the shower, you can do it while you're on the toilet, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Whatever you want to do. You could do it during the eclipse. That would be some sort of then heads will actually explode. Just making sure. And because most likely people will just type in eclipse, trying to be clever and trying to find something. I sounded super elitist there, so I'm sorry. Trying to find something to play. They'll type in eclipse, and that will likely be the first thing that comes up. I have not confirmed this, but I'm just guessing. So, with that, I would like to get a count as to how many people play Total Eclipse of the Heart. Maybe including me. Depends. I might play the Dan Band version, because that's pretty good. But it's Eclipse Day. You gotta be excited. You gotta do it. So, for any of you who are new to this eclipse thing, I guess I don't know when the last one was, so plenty of you are, I suppose. I remember there was one when I was a kid, and that was probably early 90s, I guess, when I was in elementary school. When I was in kindergarten, when I was 4 or 5, I was in kindergarten pretty young. I think it was second or third grade, maybe 92-ish, 1992. One of those days, back in the olden days, as Purse Borderline would say. Because I'm old, apparently. Okay, a little bit of eclipse FAQ for those who are not in the know. When is the eclipse? I don't know. Google it. Why is there no shadow? There is, but in a different part of the country, or because the earth is flat and hip-hop has been right the entire time. Why doesn't the shadow cover the earth? Because, I said earth. Because the moon is smaller than the earth. Shadows 101, bro. I have an appointment and won't be able to see it. What can I do? Google it afterwards. I believe in astrology. What does this mean for me? you'll burst into flames. What if I burst into flames? Naked push-ups. That fixes that. Will I go blind? Probably. But YOLO! You know, you saw it. So, you get it. How will my life be different? The sun will look different for a few minutes, I guess. Will my kids develop autism? That's enough questions. Let's move on. That was a Facebook post I posted this morning, so that's why I was reading it. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about intelligence. Intelligence as it pertains to creativity and comedy, and how sometimes that can be something that is used against you. Meaning, sometimes it can lead to arrogance and pushes you into a vulnerable state. I have an example of this that I'd like to talk about. I also spoke about this on my vlog, actually. It's one of my vlog topics, so youtube.com/RavoMyDesign. It was kind of a contested thing, because people were like, I'm not dumb, I'm super smart. And, you know, sure.
Drums, please.
So I'm happy to say that I'm feeling like 90 to 95% better, which is great. I've still got a little bit of sniffles and there's something in my throat that I know needs to go, and it's gonna die today. I'm gonna get it. It'll get gone. So I'm gonna work through that final little bit, but I don't know. My energy's kind of up. I'm feeling pretty good. Been having a lot of good positive conversations this weekend, and getting some work done. You know, posted a couple songs. So I don't know. All in all, I'm feeling pretty good. So I feel like today I'm gonna try to regain some focus and try to hit the gym. Not try, will do. Yoda will kill me if I just say try all the time. And I will do it, and I will get there. I will pump some iron, and in my flannel shirt, and get into work, make dumb jokes, do the things I need to do, and get out. That's my mantra in life. Get in, do the things you need to do, and then get out. That's terrible. Don't make jokes like that. Anyway, hi. Today I wanted to talk about intelligence because, particularly as it pertains to arrogance, but in general, I think intelligence is fascinating because we often associate intelligence with like the textbook version of it, meaning someone who is like valedictorian, really good at studying, or really good at memorizing things, depending on your perspective, and just really good at pushing through the system. Someone who is really good at retaining information, or, you know, someone like, I mean, you think of like Jeopardy. Jeopardy takes a certain kind of intelligence. It's a lot of fact absorption, in a sense. Like, you have to do a lot of studying and be good at finding a way to absorb knowledge. Some people use reading. Some people are good at visual learning. And really depends on how much you retain that knowledge. Me, I do consider myself a type of intelligence, but I don't necessarily retain every bit of information that I read. I was terrible at school because of that. Like, I would be reading something, and the entire time I'd be like, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to keep this? I don't need this in my brain. So I would often just be actively rejecting everything that I'm reading. And memory is not something I'm very good at either. I should have looked this up before I started this, so I apologize for being unprepared. It's not very intelligent of me. And essentially what it is it's sort of like a chart or a listing of different types of intelligence. Because someone who is not necessarily smart in the book sense or using language or words could be intelligent in other ways. They could be intelligent in their muscle memory or survival instincts or social stuff, being good with people. Those are different, varying types of intelligence. and we use those in different ways to, well, get our way in life, one way or another, to get the job, to get the girl, to get the thing, the MacGuffin, as it were. So that's why it's tough in this world, especially in America. I don't know how it is in other countries, honestly, but in the U.S., the school system is very, at least from my recollection of it, feels very assembly line. You're kind of being taught as a group, you're being taught all the things, you get left behind, it's no good. I absorb things quickly. I don't absorb things quickly, but I understood a lot of concepts quickly. So when it came to math, I was always really good at math. I was always really good at language, in terms of conveying ideas or poetry, art, things like that. Those things I kind of breezed through really quickly. Other things like having to memorize too much or whatever, not so great. And I was much smarter as a kid. Once I got through my early 20s and drank too much, things changed a little bit. I don't know if that's scientifically true, but it feels like, at old age, I guess. I'm not old. Stop it. So, I just wanted to kind of talk about the different types of intelligence. Just talking about it in general. I think I'll come back later today and talk about the specific types once I get that information.
If you've been dying to start that podcast about doves, or about your favorite jacket, or about a long-lost love, or a murder mystery about a cat who murdered everybody, you can start it now on Spotify for podcasters. I've been on Anchor for a long time, and now it is officially Spotify for podcasters, and it has been a platform that has been growing for forever. And I love it, and I still use it to this day, and it has hosted this podcast for 500 plus episodes now. So I highly recommend it. It is free to use. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. I'm literally on my bed recording on my, the phone is on the bed, and I'm just talking, and it's not that complicated. And then you can distribute your podcast on Spotify and everywhere else that podcasts are heard. So video podcasts are available too if you want to show your pretty face and have people see you. And you can do all that too. So just do it. It's totally free. No catch. Give it a try. Spotify for podcasters. Let's go.
This is probably the last segment and then a quick closing segment. So, I wanted to tell this story about, the reason, I wanted to talk about this is, every once in a while I think about this story, and when I think about arrogance versus arrogance versus intelligence, I think about this guy. I was at a poker game, and, I was very much like this kid, where you get so good at it. Poker is one of those things where, there's so much repetition, that in order to get good at it, you study the game, and just sit and play as many hands as possible. Particularly if you're able to play online, you can play so many more hands. And a lot of young guys played a lot of hands online really quickly and became very arrogant. As a result, they would come to live poker and they would start to falter because they run out of patience, because online you can play so many more hands. So you can see their lack of patience. They're very fidgety. They're always on their phone. They're always talking to somebody. They're always ordering a drink. They're always doing something. They can't just sit still. And they're often making decisions very surface level, because that's what you do when you play online. You play the card you're dealt, and you often play based on timing, because you can't see people's faces. So you kind of play based on timing, and you have to kind of figure out if the person's actually there, if they're talking in the chat, if they're trying to put people on tilt being unfocused, shaky, and sometimes they take that strategy onto in-person poker, and that doesn't necessarily work that way. You need to watch people, you need to pay attention, you need to watch every hand, and you need to not take the situation for granted, because many people in person can feign being a bad player. Me being one of those people. So I can't remember the specifics of the hand, but this kid was like, he was always on his phone, literally talking on the phone at the table, which is a rule in California that you're allowed to do that, and it drives me insane because everywhere else in the country you cannot do that. Not only is it like bad for the game, but it's rude as shit. So don't do that at a poker table. Like, who are you? That's like, play, be there. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'm getting old man here. So this kid was super arrogant, and I wasn't playing many hands because I just wasn't really getting anything to play with. And he got to the point where he was starting to get bored. You could tell that he was like trying to pick at the players who were like actually bad, but he would just do a lot of things that were showing his arrogance. He was just like, yeah, I'll let you bet, and you know, it's so hard to actually describe, but he was like throwing chips around and just making it look like he had no care. Like, it was super easy. Like, he was just showing off that I'm smart and I know what I'm doing and blah, 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 blah. And so I took advantage of that because at some point you see that he's just, it kind of crosses over at some point. Like, he starts to not really care. He starts to assume that everyone at the table is less intelligent than him. Therefore, you can trap him. You can let him bet out and, let him continue to feel like he's in control. You know what I mean? So like the cards come out. I can't remember the exact hand, but I knew I had him beat from the flop, which is the 3 cards that come out to begin with. I knew I had him beat, so he was fairly aggressive, so I had the first move, so I checked, which is like pass essentially, and I let him make his bets. I make a quick call, which usually, for most people who know how to play poker, when you make a quick call, that usually means that you're drawing to something, meaning you only have 4 cards to a flush or a straight or something like that. Knowing that he's an intelligent person, I was able to take advantage of that, and I make a quick call to let him know that I'm searching for that. And I'm pretty confident that he wasn't, because of his mannerisms and how quick he bet out and how much he bet. He bet a lot, meaning that he is typically trying to get someone away from the pot, so he doesn't have the draw. He would more likely be top pair or something like that. Long story short, I took all his money, basically. So I know poker stories aren't always interesting because I have to explain all the little nuances and details. I've been playing poker since I was 19. I'm actually pretty good at it. Still learning, and haven't played in a while, to be honest. But I am writing a book about using poker strategy in life, which I think could be interesting. I'm trying to find a way to like bridge the gap between like somebody who hasn't played poker but is kind of interested in the nuances of it, because there's a lot of human psychology involved, and routine and little bits of pattern recognition, very basic math, odds, and and managing your own self and managing your own emotions. Poker has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's taught me about how to be a professional, because if you're going to be someone that is sitting there for a long time trying to make money, you need to be able to take care of yourself. A lot of people get stuck at the table. They don't want to miss the next hand, so they don't even get up to go pee. Like, go for a walk. Go to the bathroom. Go get a bite to eat, There's also a lot of social cues and social considerations to be made when you're at the table also. What things you can and can't talk about, or should and shouldn't talk about. There's a lot of like unwritten rules which are kind of interesting also, which can let you know about people's psychology and respect for each other. There's a certain honor system, which I think is fascinating as well. But I'll go into that some other time. Today I wanted to talk about intelligence, and I apologize that it actually wasn't the most intelligent talk about intelligence. I wanted to kind of just A, have a topic for today, because I didn't really have one, and then B, just kind of open Pandora's box about this topic, because I want people to discuss it. I think it's interesting. I think intelligence is way, way more nuanced, like many other topics, than people perceive it to be. Again, most people put intelligence into a certain bucket, and that's not true. Everybody has a certain sense of intelligence, even if they don't look it. They will often have something that they are very good at that you are not, and that makes them intelligent in that thing, in that type of thing. You know what I mean? Somebody might be really good at building and intricacies. I'm really good at layers and timelines. Painting, drawing, music making, video editing. Like, I can layer things together and it all kind of makes sense to me. Like, I can wrap my head around that stuff, and some people can't. And those people might be athletes, and they might be good at, understanding their own body and understanding other people and how they work, and physics, and, natural range of motion, things of that nature, So intelligence lies in so many different things. Some people are really great at memory things. Some people are, people are just different kinds of intelligences. That wasn't a good sentence. As I get stuffy, I get more distracted. But I wanted to open up that topic. Throughout the day, I'll kind of look that up and talk about it in more specifics. But I wanted to open up and see what you guys think. So give a call in. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you see people playing Total Eclipse of the Heart. I would love to hear your rendition, because that would be amazing. Message me at Rival My Design on Instagram or on Twitter, and we can talk there. That would be dope. And or give a call in if you're on Anchor, anchor.fm/Christian-Rivera, or you can follow the podcast. Just look up the CNOTE Audio Extravaganza on iTunes or Pocket Casts, or I don't know, whatever rock you listen to podcasts on. I don't know what people do these days. And maybe I'll talk a little bit later about comedy and intelligence, because I did mention that at the top of the show and I didn't really get to it. But there's that as well. So I appreciate you listening. And every now and then I'll get a little bit older, and I'll see the look in your eyes.